Good evening, everyone, and welcome to the nice edition of the Klown podcast. It's a quick rundown we're going to get to tonight. We're going to talk some NFL draft, how some teams did and whatnot, how our favorite teams did. We're also going to talk a little about the NBA with the season coming down stretch. There's 7 more games left of the season, y'all. Just 7 more games left, so we got a lot to talk about as far as NBA goes. Also, going to always every week have our HBCU Sports Minute. There's a lot of exciting stuff we're going to bring to you, including last weekend's SWAC Football Championship game. And we're going to get some, random shit, some stuff that we didn't, talk about earlier. Some I don't want to say trivia, but just little things. So, which you all will hopefully find entertaining. So, also, one more thing, please subscribe to the podcast, hit the subscribe button. You'll be glad you did, and I'll be glad you did. So, until then, let's have a good show and let's have some fun. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are, wherever you may be. Welcome to tonight's edition of the Klown Hour podcast. It's my man, Dwayne Nash. To my, I guess it would be to y'all's left, but to my right. But anyway, Please check him out on the yard / HBCU Sports, who raps about all things HBCU Sports, as well as Sleazy Radio every Tuesday night on Facebook Live. I know that you guys enjoyed his draft simulcast, if you will. With the crew. Is very entertaining. I hope you guys enjoyed it as well. And
I sure hope so.
Well, they better enjoy it anyway, damn it. And then, but last but not least, check him out, his great work out on herosports.com, where he talks about FCS as it relates to the HBCUs. That's for your boy here. Check my blog out, The Klown Times. It's Klown Spelled with K at www.theklowntimes.net. And check me out on Facebook as well, where you're on a smartphone, laptop, desktop, wherever you are, wherever you may be. Just type in the Klown Times in the search window. You'll be able to find me there as well. Yes, please subscribe to the podcast. Click on the subscribe button boop, on the lower right-hand corner of the screen. We're getting new subscribers, which is cool. Of course, we want to grow the family because, hey, we want to get paid too. So, so please continue to subscribe. Spread the word to your family, friends, or whoever the hell you want to tell. And last but not least, get the merch. Get the merch.
Get the merch.
CafePress.com. Search for the Klown Time Sports. The address will be in the description tomorrow afternoon when it gets uploaded to Facebook. You will find the gear there as well. So we're going to get into some stuff here. Of course, the NFL draft. Everyone knows about the NFL draft. We long and pine for the NFL draft every single year. I'm pretty sure you guys enjoyed the last 2 weeks we had on with my man, Andre Edwards, talking all things Cincinnati sports. A lot of things we talked about was the NFL draft, who the Bengals should draft first, where they should focus. And basically, it was the conversation turned to our squads, Dwayne's beloved Washington football team, my beloved Steelers. So this is how we're going to do it. We're not going to go through and grade the draft. A, we don't get paid for it. And B, we don't have the time. So what we're going to do is we're going to talk about pretty much as far as where the top 5 quarterbacks fell, which of those young men are in the best positions to succeed, and also how our favorite teams did throughout the draft. So that's where we're going to head. So let's start it up right now. So we all knew that Trevor Lawrence was going to go first to Jacksonville. We all knew.
Can I say something about that real quick?
Yes, go ahead, please.
Yes. I don't know who I need to do this to, but it's Urban Meyer, whoever the GM is, whoever. Dude, I'm punching him in the gut on site. They took entirely too long to make the most obvious pick in the world.
We
knew what they were going to do.
We knew.
And they took forever. Dude, I got stuff to do Friday night. I understand you can sleep in the bed, probably drink whatever you drank after you made your pick, celebrated the way that you got a chance to celebrate because you got the guy that you got, but you took forever making that pick. Dude, we knew you was going to do that. It should have started out, dude, Trevor Lawrence, let's go. Yes. Pick number 2. And then, of course, the Jets did the exact same damn thing. Taking forever. So whoever it is, Robert Salah, I know you're new to the job, but either way, you get a gut punch too. But yeah, dude, 1, 2, and 3, and the Niners as well. So I mean, I got various other reasons why I want to punch.
I would say this about the Niners. There was talk either Mac Jones or Trey Young or perhaps Justin Fields to a lesser degree. At least there was a little bit of suspense because we figured the draft was going to start. People were saying it was going to start with Atlanta number 4. I was like, it will start number 3 to me because we didn't know which quarterback they were going to get. We already knew it was going 1 and 2. So I agree with you there. I was on on a Zoom call with some of my Cincinnati homies watching the draft, and we're just sitting around looking at each other like, what the fuck is taking Jacksonville so long? We knew what they're going to pick. Stop playing the suspense card, Urban Meyer and Roger Goodell. I blame you too, Roger Goodell.
He's also guilty, yes.
For pulling up, because we know who they are going to pick. We knew where Jacksonville was going. We knew where the Jets were going. We didn't agree with where the Jets were going, but we knew what the Jets were going to do. They would draft the young man, Zach Wilson. We knew that. Everyone and mama knew, Stevie Wonder could see that Jacksonville was going to take Trevor Lawrence. We knew that.
Yes.
So stop with the whole damn suspense bullshit. Stop it.
God.
I got shit to do too. I ran out of my beer on pick number 1. Out of 12-ounce bottle of beer, I drank it all on pick number 1 because it took so damn long. Stop it. Just stop it. I had to watch the rest of the first round with a dry mouth. Stop it. Just stop it. Please just stop it. Now now I'm mad. Now I'm really mad. Because I don't have to relive that shit all over again.
I'm sorry that I brought up ire within you, but dude, I was mad too. And I had to voice my opinion. I voiced it Thursday night.
Yeah.
I had to voice it again today because it's still lingering with me. But to your point about the 49ers and them and their suspense of them not knowing, how long ago did they trade up to the number 3 spot?
More than a month before the draft, if I'm not mistaken.
They should have known then who they were taking that 3. That's just me, right? You're trading up. That means you have a guy in mind.
Right. Because
we all knew that Trevor Lawrence was going to go. And for a lesser degree, I would say about 85% chance that Zach Wilson was going at 2. Right. So you're trading up at 3 to get the guy that you want. It's not like, oh my God, somebody slipped to 3 that we didn't think was going to make it. You knew who you were going after at 3. Make the pick. There's some people who like the suspense. You know what? I ain't here.
Well, I ain't one of them. Don't waste my time. My time is valuable. Your time is valuable. Most people in this great country's time is valuable. We all knew where Jacksonville was going. Stop with the bullshit. Make the pick. It should have been a world record time of picking the first pick of the draft because we all knew, and your ass knew where you were going.
Yes.
Just stop it. It's not like it was back when Baker Mayfield was the first pick of the draft because there were people who argued he should have been the first pick of the draft.
Yes.
I could see that, but not this draft. Even with the strong class of quarterbacks that were taken. And I include Kellen Mond and Kyle Trask.
Kyle Trask, yes, sir.
I include those 2 young men. So this is as strong as this quarterback class is, I guess I should say was now in past tense, we all knew Trevor Lawrence was that dude. We all knew he was the headliner. So once again, Roger Goodell or any other coach whose team sucks bad enough to have the top pick of the draft, next year's draft, stop it.
Get the drafted.
If we all knew,
snappy.
if we all know, if there's a clear-cut number 1, don't waste anybody's time. Just make the goddamn pick. That's all.
The excuse given is, of course, they got to print the names out on the jerseys. I know how it's done.
Shut the fuck
transfer.
up. Just,
dude.
Yeah.
You know who it's going to be before the draft even start. You should have already just had the Trevor Lawrence jersey ready. Let's get the going. Let's get the goobing. Wasting my time. I swear, dude. So yeah, but to your point, the top 5 QBs and how I think they're going to fare. If memory serves me, the top 5 were, of course, Lawrence, Wilson, Fields,
Trey
Lance. And also, of course, we can't forget about your boy that dropped down to the New England Patriots, Mac Jones. So those are the first 5 QBs taken in this year's draft, right?
Yes.
Your question was, who do I think is in the best situation?
Yes.
it would be probably the last 3 taken in out of that 5. Matt Jones, he has an opportunity to sit for a year, learn this playbook, and chances are Bill Belichick's not going to rush him out there to play. Right. The only way I see Matt Jones getting out there is if Cam is stinking up the joint or he gets hurt.
Right.
That's the only way I see him getting out there. So he has an opportunity to sit back.
Based on recent history,
yeah.
I mean, Matt Jones is going to play sooner rather than later, just on health alone. With I'll call him Cal, with Cam Newton. So
yeah,
I would say this. Ideally, since Cam's on a 1-year deal anyway, ideally, Mac Jones get to sit and watch at least half a season. I would give him Cam's recent injury history, I'd give him to week 8. Seriously, I would give him to week 8 because this is the thing. Say what you want about Matt Jones, his dad bod and all, but the kid is accurate. And yes, he played with some world beaters at wide receiver and that running back. I get it. And then your offensive line that's all been drafted. I get all that. But you can't teach accuracy and you can't teach heart. I think this young man fall into this particular situation, I think is probably one of the best situations of all the young men who was drafted in the first round as far as quarterbacks has fallen. I would argue also Trey Lance as well, because ideally he'll get to sit behind Jimmy Garoppolo for a year. Because say what you want about Garoppolo's lack of health, the guy does win, at least in the regular season. And he's taking his team to the Super Bowl when he's healthy. The thing is, we all know the best ability is availability. And, you know, Garoppolo hasn't been available due to health. So, again, from a realistic standpoint, from an idealistic standpoint, I think Trey Lance also landed a good situation. And as much as I bang on the Jets, and for good reason, by the way,
of course,
I think they've done a decent job of surrounding Zach Wilson with some talent, especially as far as the draft went. They've done a decent job with that, with all those picks of receiver, and I think offensive line too. I think I'm going off of memory, but the point is that I think that they've done better than what I thought. I still think it's going to be an uphill climb given the division he's in. He's going to be playing.
Oh, most definitely.
I mean, he got the Bills. They're not sucking anytime soon. Josh Allen's coming to his own. They got that dude, Stephon Diggs, your Maryland boy. Also, who else? Miami's on the come.
Miami's improving, yes,
and
sir.
I think Tua's going to have a better year this year. They got one of his former teammates. I think they drafted Waddle, right?
They drafted Waddle, yes, sir.
Yeah, they drafted Waddle. So one of his former teammates. Is they still got that defense. They still got all that talent. They still, I mean, I love Brian Flores as a coach. And I think New England's going to be a lot better this year. I think with a full off season, you know, I don't think COVID would mess them up too much this time around. So that'll give Cam and Mac Jones all that time in the preseason, in the training camp and the preseason to work on their craft during the games, during preseason games, that is. So I think that I think the division will be better. And so while I think the Jets they got a good coach in Robert Salah, I think that it's still going to be still an uphill climb for them.
Oh yeah.
Now, one more thing I would say about these young men, these quarterbacks, the Justin Fields situation is very intriguing to me. Because the Bears traded up in 20 to get this young man. And this I think this is a great fit for him. They need a quarterback. You can't tell me they're going to hang their head on Andy Dalton. And they're well coached. They already have a defense. And say what you want about Matt Nagy, the head coach. He has a brilliant offensive mind. I mean, hell, he got to win if you got to the playoffs a couple of times with Mitch Trubisky. As bad of a draft pick as that was. So if he was able to do that with him, sky's the limit, I think, with Fields, where I think is a lot better than Trubisky was coming out of college. So
yeah,
That's gonna be a situation to keep an eye on. Again, I think a full off season, along with training camp and the preseason, will help these young men a lot.
Most definitely.
Lot. They're going to help them a lot, which I'm happy for the sake of those young men that were drafted. But it's going to be very intriguing season. I think we'll see Trevor Lawrence on the field from day one. I think we're going to see Zach Wilson from the field from day one. I think that we might see Justin Fields from day one. I think so. I think we might see him. Now it depends again how he looks in training camp and the preseason games.
Well, that means he's going to end up having to beat out both Andy Dalton and Nick Foles in order to do that. I don't know if he necessarily does that, but the thing is, the Bears also don't need him to come in immediately.
You're right.
But before I get to the rest of that, let me go ahead and do this right now because somehow we've gone about 10, 15 minutes without you acknowledging any of this at this moment, but I'm most definitely coming back to it a little bit later on because it does have a purpose.
Yes.
But first and foremost, you said something about Matt Jones and his inaccuracy and how accuracy can't be taught. Right. I beg to differ. Case in point, Josh Allen. That's the same Bama who I thought could have taught accuracy, and shame on me. Right.
Me too. I thought he was going to be a bust, so shame on me too.
Yeah. So that's why there's certain caveats and certain notions that they say about certain players, and players that do certain things. I toss out the window, especially at draft time now, because I'm like, okay, let them get on the field and let them do something first before I go ahead and criticize these dudes, because what we've seen in them collegially is going to be something completely different than what we see on the next level. Yes. But I digress. So that's what Mac Jones, if people believe he has an accuracy issue, that's something I think that he can correct. And he has the opportunity to have some time to do so. And it's a situation where he's not going to have to win games. Like you said, the Patriots are going to get better. A lot of the guys that they lost last year due to COVID are coming back. So especially a lot of great Pro Bowl guys and all pro guys that are coming back to that roster. So, yeah, it's going to be almost Tom Brady-esque, where they play behind that defense, and all he has to do is just go out there and not make any mistakes and stay upright, and they'll be fine. To your Trey Lance critique, I completely agree. Matter of fact, I agree with all of your assessments, right? Ooh. With Trey Lance, he is the prototypical, him and Justin Fields, which is why it's like a toss-up between him and Fields in my eyes on who San Francisco should have taken. But of course, it seems as though that they were because they made the pick higher on Lance than they were on Fields. But he's that type of QB that is accurate, has the ability to run the ball and roll out and do a bootleg pass and is athletic, but not overly athletic. And there's nothing wrong with being overly athletic in QB because that works as well. So he, like I said, he just fits that mold of a Shanahan QB. And I see that working out as well. The thing is, though, with him and San Fran, like you said, he does have an opportunity to sit back and wait a little bit behind Garoppolo. And so he may not need to be rushed unless there's a bad injury to Jimmy G, where he needs to come and step in and do that. Same thing with Justin Fields. I think that battle at QB for this year is going to be more so between Nick Foles and Andy Dalton before Justin Fields even gets into that equation. But I'll say this. I think Nagy's finally got his imitation Patrick Mahomes. And that's the one thing it looks like he's been wanting to do since he came into Chicago, was to attempt to replicate the offense that he had when he was at Kansas City as the OC there. Now, he kind of has his Tyreek Hill and Tariq Cohen.
Yeah.
So now he's getting his QB like that too. So
they got a defense too. They have a defense
and they have
too.
Matter of fact, their defense is a lot better than Kansas City's in my eyes. I'm gonna go ahead and say that now. With that said, if they could go ahead and coach up Justin Fields to the point where he's playable, the Bears are going to be something to deal with in the NFC North, especially adding on the fact that that A-Rod wants to get out of Green Bay. So
let's talk
if
about
that happens.
Yeah.
You know, Chicago is a front runner in my eyes to run that division for the next couple of years.
Yeah, let's talk about that because I meant to. God, I can't believe I forgot to lead off.
Don't worry about that, baby.
I was thinking NFL draft. I totally forgot about the whole Aaron Rodgers deal. Let's talk.
Don't worry about that, baby. That's why I'm your Chris Paul, man. I'm your assistant.
Yeah, Chris Paul addition to what's that brother's name?
I'm gonna let you choose. You could be Ayton. You could be Booker.
Booker.
Hey, man, take your
I'm
pick.
a Booker guy. I'm more of a Booker guy.
You go ahead with that open check. There you go. Bounce pass.
And Aaron Rodgers. Yeah, if you want to write a book on how not to fuck up your franchise, look up Green Bay. Here's the thing. Yeah, I know Aaron Rodgers is 37 years of age.
Mm-hmm.
I know that he has one Super Bowl on his resume.
Mm-hmm.
But the dude is coming off an MVP season. He's a multi-MVP award winner.
Mm-hmm.
When they check this out. Just picture this for a minute. Just bring it home for everyone watching this. Mm-hmm. Imagine you're married, right?
Mm-hmm.
And your wife goes to a party. Your wife proceeds to flirt with every dude at that party until she zeroes in on that one stud at said party after she finishes networking. And so when she approaches that dude, she gets his phone number and Instagram or whatever. So to the point where you catch her texting or calling this dude, and you approach her and say, confront us and just make her promise that you are her one and only, except after she promised you that you are her one and only, she goes back to talk to this dude and go on a date with this guy and have an affair with him.
Mm-hmm.
To the point where you are fed up, a fed up husband. So I don't understand why fans are up in arms over Aaron Rodgers being the hurt husband, but why he is mad at his wife, the Green Bay Packers, for getting in bed with an interloper that is Jordan Love. Mm-hmm. When they traded up after he took his team to the to the NFC Championship game against the 49ers when they got their asses just blown out. That wasn't all his fault. His defense couldn't stop the run.
Yeah,
that's where they got their asses kicked. So how did the team respond? Did they draft anyone defense? No. Did they give any skill position players to help him out? No. They not only drafted his replacement in the first round, they traded up to do so. So if you trade up to get the guy you want in the first round, that's going to be your guy. So a special quarterback, that's your guy. That's going to be their guy. Mm-hmm. So if you're Aaron Rodgers, again, you already have an MVP award under your belt. You already have a Super Bowl ring under your belt. Mm-hmm. You've had all these statistical accolades in the regular season, taking your team to the playoffs several years. You've done all of that with little to no help on defense, except for the Super Bowl run. He had a defense, but outside of that, with little to no help on defense, and most of the time little to no help on offense, especially in the running game. So, Aaron Jones notwithstanding. So, if you're Aaron Rodgers, you did all of that. Mm-hmm. Got your team to the conference, to the NFC Championship game, and you see your squad with a new coach, by the way, and general manager, front office do that. Mm-hmm. What the hell do you think is going to happen? How do you think he's going to feel? Of course, he's going to be in his feelings a lot. Quarterbacks are, as Shannon Sharp once put it from Undisputed, the most sensitive people on the field because they're the ones who can't afford to look over their shoulders, right? Because they're the de facto leaders. They're the faces of the franchise, or should be. Mm-hmm. So again, you're Aaron Rodgers. You see them trade up to get your replacement, to draft your replacement. You're like, what the fuck? What? And then, if the reports are true, gets shut down time and time again from the front office. Like when they hired Matt LaFleur, when he was like saying, Aaron, quote, do not be the problem. He was told that, do not be the problem. And then everything else he requested fell on deaf ears because what did they do? What did the new coach do? He drafted his replacement and the general manager as well. And then, how's he? But this is the biggest get back. That season, last season, when Jordan Love was a rookie, remember they didn't have any training camp. I mean, any big major training camp because of COVID and no preseason games. So we couldn't get to see what Jordan Love could do in the line of fire. So the ultimate get back was Aaron Rodgers not only having another MVP season, but how he did it. What did he pass for? 48 touchdowns to 4 interceptions?
Oh, it was something insane. It's
ungodly insane.
I want to say that he's the only QB to pass for over 40 touchdowns and less than 10 3 times in his career. And to answer your question, God, where's that? Because I actually have it up right now. And we at wrong side. That's 40 touchdowns.
40 touchdowns. No, 48 touchdowns. 48 touchdowns
and 5 interceptions. Yeah. So he's done that 3 times in his career. Where in 2011 he passed for 45 and 6. 2016 it was 40 and 7. And then this year, that past year, it was 48 and 5. Yeah. So but you gave your analogy. I actually want to take your analogy and I want to kind of spin it on its ear real quick, right?
Yes, sir.
So Aaron Rodgers is the husband, right?
Yeah.
But as Aaron Rodgers, you're supposed to be this overly confident husband. You're highly attractive. Mm-hmm. You know you sexy. you got a lot of money.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? You're well endowed. Mm-hmm. You know this, right? and you're confident in this.
Yes.
And the thing is, they're just this new dude. You don't know what this new dude can and can't do, but you know what you can do.
Yeah.
So you shouldn't even be concerned about this, man, because chances are he's not going to take your spot. If anything, it's going to be a situation where either the organization feels as though that they can't deal with you financially, mm-hmm. or injury takes you out. That's and he comes in as your replacement.
That money point is a good point, by the way.
Yeah, but the thing is, dude, mm-hmm. you know that you're better. And the whole fact of everyone talking about how he needed help in that draft. They shouldn't have drafted a QB. Okay, help where? Passing for 48 touchdowns. And what was it? 4,200 yards, 4,300 mm-hmm. yards. Yeah. Help where? Right. Where does he need help?
Right.
He didn't need none. That's why I found it laughable. Everybody's like, oh my God, he needed help. Where? If anything, in that championship game against the who went to the Super Bowl this year? It was the Bucs.
The Bucs.
If anything, against the Bucs, the only place he needed help was here and here. On that third down play where he was wide open. I understand he wanted it easy. He didn't want to take any contact. I get it. But you know what?
He should have run it in. I know. He should have run it in.
And if you weren't going to get it in, and if you weren't going to get it in, you were going to get a whole lot closer. Mm-hmm. It wasn't going to be fourth and whatever it was going to be like maybe fourth and go from the 2 or fourth and go from the 1 and maybe go forward from that point.
I think he would have scored. I think he would have scored. He was so wide open. The only person who was chasing him was the Dominican Sue on that play.
Yeah, see,
he would have walked in the end zone.
Hard. And that wasn't the first time during that game where he made bad decisions where, it could have either extended drives mm-hmm. or in that situation scored. So right. I need him to be a little bit more confident. And that's even more prevalent in this situation because, dude, we haven't even seen this cat play. Why are you afraid of this dude? You're the freaking MVP of the league. You're Aaron freaking Rodgers. You're Mr. State Farm yourself. Why
like a good
are
neighbor.
You afraid? Yes.
Well, let me say this, though.
Discount double check. Why are you scared? Why are you scared? Do you? If you do you, nobody's concerned. And
yeah.
But my thing is, man, I understand that he has a rocky relationship with LaFleur. Mm-hmm. He most definitely has a rocky relationship with his general manager.
Yeah.
But dude, just go out there and ball. But if you won out, you won out, man. Don't hide behind this whole thing of Jordan Love's there. Oh my God, I don't know what I'm gonna do. Don't hide behind that, because I'm concerned about his confidence. But that's the other thing too about him being a husband. Not only am I attractive, not only am I wealthy, not only am I well endowed, but there are 29 other women out there. Well, maybe not 29. Okay, maybe not the Chiefs, maybe not the Bucks. Who else out there? Don't you? Maybe not the Ravens.
Yeah.
Maybe not the Seahawks.
Not the Bills.
But even though with their relationship, maybe with Russell Wilson, maybe they would do a swap. But still, there are 26 other women out there that want your services.
Mm-hmm. I would say this though.
Oh, go ahead.
I would say I'm going to interrupt your flow. It's a great flow, but even still,
mm-hmm.
I'm married, so even still, I don't want another nigga near me.
Got you.
Okay, I'm sorry for saying the N-word. I hate the N-word, but it had to come out there. I don't want another cat near me.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I don't want the idea of another cat on deck.
Gotcha.
That's how I roll. So, and that's how Aaron probably rolls. I mean, the thing is, you're right. As far as last year, Duke balled out of control. He ain't really the only help he needed. Go back the year before, and last year, for that matter, well, especially the year before, was defense. Remember, he got run off the field literally by San Francisco because he couldn't stop the run. The San Fran ran for what, 300 yards? Jimmy G only attempted less than 10 passes.
Yeah.
So I mean, if you get beat, and they got beat down, they got run out of San Francisco, literally and figuratively. So if anything, they should have given it was the cry for help, if you will. Would it be on the defensive side? Would it be in the trenches, or for the skill position players? Well, particularly wide receiver. That was when that offseason was the help that should have came. That's when they traded up to draft Jordan Love. That's why everyone was stunned. But I could get your point from last year. I agree with you. He should have just tucked it in, ran his ass in the end zone, and went for two and hope for the best. I agree there. And the coach I thought the coach was also chicken shit for scoring for a field goal on fourth down when you need at least touchdown and 2-point conversion time. But anyway, that's neither here nor there. But the point is, I agree with your heart assessment with Aaron Rodgers this past season.
Yeah.
In the playoff game where they were down 8, had a clear path to the end zone on third down. I see the play. I remember the play in my head. I saw it live. I was like, oh, he's going to run this shit in. And then he threw across his body, almost got it picked off. I was like, huh? And I think Matt LaFleur, I think he punked out and not going for it on fourth down.
Yeah.
But I think he saw it. I'm like, he was probably thinking.
But you know what? I kind of understood because I wasn't upset at the time when he did it. And this was why. The defense was playing a whole lot better that day, right? And they almost got a 3-and-out against them if it wasn't for that horrible pass interference call on that third and long.
I remember that, yes.
And that bailed out Tampa Bay in that situation, which led to them, of course, running the clock out.
Running the clock out, yeah.
But as much as we'd like to talk about that draft pick of Jordan Love, you also got to take into consideration 2017. You remember what happened in 2017? The ACL injury for Aaron Rodgers. We ended up missing the rest of the season, and they were scrambling.
And the backups was shit.
It was basura. Yes, sir. Straight trash.
Yeah.
On Cinco de Mayo, they're Spanish trash.
Yeah.
Yes. So they needed a situation, and I understand that you can get backups anywhere, right? And backups everywhere.
Right.
But when you're a team of that caliber, and you know that you're one hit away from losing that QB potentially, and losing out on your opportunity of making at least a wild card run, if not a playoff run, if you can go ahead and get you a guy that you think is talented enough to go ahead and step in for a couple of games, and get you to the playoffs. And all you gotta do is be in. You gotta be in it to win it, right?
Mm-hmm.
So they can just get in it, and we don't know what happens after that. Why not try to prep yourself by having a decent QB at that spot? So I understand that fear, but I also understand the whole concept of, in that situation, you may want to go ahead and go elsewhere, but he proved that he didn't necessarily need any help. But again, to your whole thing of you don't want nobody near you, it goes back to love. And I understand you can speak from marriage. I've never been married. I don't know that. But I'll also say this, right? I think I may have been in love. So I speak from love from a little bit, right? Whereas I'll say this. If I'm not comfortable enough to have my woman around anyone else, and I'm afraid that she might go someplace else, maybe it's time for me to go. Or if she does go someplace else,
fair. Yeah.
Then it's most definitely my time to go.
Right.
So all I can do is do what I need to do. And if I go out there and I do what I'm supposed to do, what I'm blessed with, I'll be fine.
Yeah.
But if I start to become insecure, then it's time for me to go. And that's what it seems like he is.
Yeah.
He's completely insecure. Now,
yeah.
And this is what the funny thing is, right? So, of course, there's assumption that it's behind Jordan Love. There's also been some assumption that it's because of a wide receiver that was on the roster that he was friends with. Not even a starter.
Yeah. I forget his name. Some
that
random
he got
dude.
cut.
Yeah.
That no one has picked up yet.
That's true.
That he's upset that he got cut. Really, A-Rod? That too?
That's the straw. That's the tip of the iceberg type of thing. That's one of those things where if he's looking to leave anyway, that's his excuse. That's his way out.
Yeah, but you know what? If I'm Green Bay in this situation, I'm like, man, get him out of
here. Yeah,
get him out of here, dude.
Well, let me ask you.
This is dumb now.
Well, let me ask you this. Now that I don't see, and Brett Favre, we talked to him like not too long ago. No one sees. I don't see. We talk. This is like minus the scandal. Minus the scandals. This is like Deshaun Watson in Houston. This is over. This is over. Over. OVA. Over is over. So, if anything, do you see like this is one of two options for Aaron Rodgers: either get traded or just retire. And Green Bay, I don't think they want to cut their nose to spite their face. So I think he's going to eventually get traded. So basically, I think he's going to get at least two first rounders.
Most definitely.
In the second rounder. The first rounder for next year, 2023, and the second rounder for 2022. That's the starting point. So having said all that, I'm gonna ask you first, because I have a couple teams. What do you think he could be traded to?
Wow, that's the thing, because man, like I said, there are most definitely at least 20 suitors out there easily. Right. The thing is, though, who is a suitor that has compensation to give?
Right.
And that's probably still the same 20. And those teams that are still willing to give up the pieces probably required in order to get them. Wow, the real question is, though, would Green Bay want to get involved with the Deshaun Watson situation? Would they want to get involved in the Russell Wilson situation, even though that's been kind of quieted down a little bit?
You know what they say, when some things get quiet, that's when the whole lot of shit's going to go down when it gets quiet.
Exactly, right? So it's interesting to think about the various places where he could go. I'm going to go ahead and eliminate also Detroit and LA because of the situation that they just went through. I'm going to go ahead and eliminate the places that just drafted starting QBs in Jacksonville, New York, and San Francisco and Chicago.
Yep.
I'm going to go ahead and eliminate them as well. So, okay, that comes down to about maybe 18 teams then, 16 to 18 teams. You know what? I mean, yes, it would most definitely be an upgrade for all those other spots, but I'll say this, right? The one place where it's been conversation, of course, has been here in DC. As much as I hate to hear that conversation,
yes, I was thinking
to a
about y'all.
degree, the conversation that they talked about, I'm like, jump on that, please. So I forget who it was, but there was a report floating around that says that if Washington wanted to get involved, they would have to give up 2 first-round picks, 2 second-round picks, Ryan Fitzpatrick, and defensive lineman Matt Ioannidis. Word? That's it? Word?
We'll do that shit yesterday.
Sign me up.
I would do that yesterday. I would do it yesterday.
Sign me up.
Yeah.
For a franchise quarterback?
With a great front seven like you guys have to help him out.
Man, listen.
In a division like the NFC least.
Man, listen.
Yo.
We haven't had a QB like that in my lifetime ever.
Right.
Ever.
Right.
The closest, and no disrespect to Joey T, I love Joey T. The closest guy to that was Mark Rippon. That one season, man, let's go. Let's go. And I find it laughable that there are fans here in the region that don't want to make that trade because of the cap hit.
Wait a minute.
Man,
people don't want that trade to happen?
Because of the cap hit, yeah. Yeah.
Are you trying to win or are you trying to save money?
Man, listen.
Who are these fans? Who are these fans?
Hey.
Are they really concerned about money that they won't see?
Yeah. That's why I'm like, you know what?
Man, some fans are just so fucking stupid. Come on, man.
Oh my
God. Come on. Because look at it this way. After this coming season, y'all gonna need a quarterback.
Yeah.
And next year's draft, outside of Sam Howell out of North Carolina, and Desmond, and I forget his last name, young man here at University of Cincinnati. After those 2 guys, we're going to get a quarterback.
It's a toss-up. I've heard your boy Rattler from Oklahoma.
It's Spencer Rattler. Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
Yeah. Then your boy from
he's a head case though.
From Liberty. Exactly right.
He's a head case. He's a head case.
So I'm like, oh my God. So how are we going to address this? We're going to end up doing what we always do, trying to fill a hole and stick our finger in that dam until somebody comes. But it rarely ever happens. And this is a situation where this hole, somebody's coming through with cement to fill it. If that's true, man, listen, you worried about how much it costs to get the cement? If you don't shut your mouth, you see that the fan base has been, but the team has been in a situation for so long that fans don't understand when a fix is there to be had to go ahead and handle it.
Yeah.
And it boggles my mind.
Well,
but
we're talking about your team. Since we're talking about your team right now, let's just get to it. Y'all's draft, right? So I got your draft results right here. You guys got a linebacker from Kentucky, Jamin Davis. You got a tackle. Jamin Davis. Love that pick for y'all. Your front seven is just scary right now. You got some good offensive talent. Second round, you got the kid out of Texas, the tackle. It's big. You got a wide receiver, Damani Brown from Carolina. That dude's a baller. I seen him play last year.
Is he?
He's a baller. Yeah, he's a baller. Damani Brown's a baller, bro. You got to steal in the 3rd round.
I'll say this though about Damani Brown. He's going to have a battle ahead of him.
Yeah. Because
there are a lot of good receivers on this roster.
Chris Samuels, right?
Yeah. So I'm not opposed to the battle. Hey, all they can do is just make that receiver room that much better, right? Yeah, so you already have, of course, McLaurin, right? Of course, you have Chris Samuels to pick up this year, along with Adam Humphries to pick up this year, right? Yep. Then you got Cam Sims, Steven Sims, Isaiah Wright that's played well at wide receiver on occasion, Antonio Gandy Golden, another wideout that they drafted last year out of Liberty. So there's a lot of talent that's going to be in that receiver room that he's going to have to battle with. Yeah. And iron sharpens iron. As long as we can get the best ones out of that group, I don't care. But yeah, he's going to have a fight ahead of him. It's not like he's going to walk in and instantaneously make it on the roster. But I love the fact that they decided they want to go ahead and continue to add more depth on a spot that we didn't have any depth whatsoever last year.
And so now you got me thinking offense.
Mm-hmm.
Going back there and Rodgers for a minute. You mean to tell me there's some fans who rather have Travis Heineke or Heineke?
Or Tyler Heineke, yeah.
Tyler Heineke, rather.
Yeah.
Over Aaron Rodgers?
I'll say this, right?
Are those fans smoking?
They are. They are.
Just say no, fellas. Just say no.
I mean, it's kind of hard to do in this city, man, because one, first and foremost, weed is legal here. And then
that's
two,
true.
of course.
They need to be legal everywhere, but that's
that's another story for another conversation.
Right.
And then, of course, too, my beloved mayor, his transgressions, it is what it is. I'm not going to sit here and talk about your frat brother like that, because that's my man's too.
That's all right.
I've seen him with the hot wings, and I've seen him in strip clubs, but he's still my man. Anybody that I can see eating hot wings in that strip clubs, and he still get down, and he's still capable of doing what he's doing.
That's a black mayor for you. That's a black mayor for you. For those of you who don't know, we're talking about that just slipped my mind.
Marion Barry.
Marion Barry, yeah.
Yes. He's a man of the people.
He's a man of the people, all right. That's a black mayor for you right there. Eating wings at a strip club.
Well, actually, when I saw him eating wings, it wasn't at a strip club. Those are two different situations. But it happened to be the same neighborhood, oddly enough. But okay. I digress about Marion Barry. I don't even get into the Barry right now, but I love that dude, man. I miss him. Yeah. I miss him, and I miss his comedy and his leadership.
Yeah.
But yeah. As much as I love Taylor Heineke, if I can get his name right, I'm talking about how much I love him. I can't even say his name right. As much as I love Taylor Heineke, dude, if I could go ahead and get Aaron Rodgers, let's go. I'm not getting rid of Taylor. No,
he's young. He's young.
Be a great backup.
He's young, and he's young too.
He's young. Yeah. He can most definitely stay here and be a backup.
Right.
But if I could upgrade,
yeah.
Done.
The raspberry, raspberry there.
Done.
D-U-N done.
Yes.
I just think look. When you said something about your squad, you got a good point. I would say this. I say Washington. I said Denver.
Denver's another team that.
Why not? If you're Denver, why not?
He wants to go there.
Yeah.
He wants to go there. That's where he wants to go. I just find it interesting that he wants to go to Denver because he has to face Patrick Mahomes in the Chiefs fights the year.
That's probably where he wants to go.
Why? Why make it hard on yourself? Stay in the NFC.
It's ego. It's called ego. That's why he wants to do it. He knows Patrick Mahomes very well. They're in commercial together, the boys. It's all about the ego. He wants to stick it to the Pack. Well, not stick it to. If we want to stick to the Packers, stay not only within the conference, stay within the division. But if it's all about ego. Remember, Tom Brady, even though Tom Brady left on his own volition because they didn't want him anymore, he chose Tampa. Different conference because he wanted to stick it to him being Coach Bill Belichick. But he didn't want to. He wanted to face the likes of Patrick Mahomes in the Super Bowl and all those studs. Like if he gets on a good team, Deshaun Watson and company. He wants to face those guys when it counts. And he got it done last year. He stuck it to Belichick. So I think Denver would be good. I think Oakland would be good. No, Oakland, Las Vegas. I think Las Vegas would be great. Have a cat like Aaron Rodgers in Vegas. What?
With that receiving core that they have, yes. And Jacobs, the running back, most definitely.
Yes. Oh, yes.
Yeah.
And Vegas?
Jacobs, Waller. Yes, sir.
So, I mean, that's what, 2 or 3. But anyway, the point is, this is going to be very interesting NFL season. Because you got the possibility of not one, but 2 quarterbacks sitting out the season. Watson and Rodgers. Yeah. 2 studs. One in his prime, one who can still play. Reigning MVP. This is going to be very, very interesting. Right quick, I'm going to get to my squad. We got the guy we wanted in the first round. I didn't give a damn, but they drafted boo-boo the fools the rest of the draft. We got our running back. Najee freaking Harris. Man, it's a great story. had a great story because apparently he threw a draft party at the shelter where the homeless shelter where he grew up in. That's a beautiful story. Right there. Beautiful thing that like that he did for those kids, those families there. But we drafted offensive line help in the 3rd and 4th rounds. We drafted Kendrick Green out of Illinois, Darren Moore Jr. Out of Texas A&M, a center and the offensive tackle, respectively. We drafted Def, a tight end. I can't pronounce the young man's last name, Pat Freiermuth or whatever, from Penn State.
Okay.
He's called Baby Gronk because of his size. He's been injured, but he could play. That gives us depth behind Eric Ebron. Also got some help at linebacker as far as depth is concerned. Buddy Johnson from A&M, as well as our compensatory pick in the 4th round. Quincy Rush out of Miami, who can play. Trey Norwood, cornerback out of Oklahoma. But this one pick, man, in the 7th round that got me, Presley Harvin III out of Georgia Tech. He's a punter.
That dude, yes.
But I would encourage you and anyone out there who hasn't seen this young man.
If you haven't seen this young man yet,
Google him.
Please.
Actually, don't even go to YouTube. Pull up a picture of him. This dude is 6 feet tall and 260 pounds. 260 pounds. And not only that, he has guns. I see him with his jersey pulled up on both sides. Dude looks like a linebacker.
Yeah.
Dude is the size of as a linebacker. But check this out, though. For those folks who think that wondering why we drafted, the young man was a Ray Guy Award winner from last season.
Was he?
He's a Ray Guy Award winner from last season. Yes, he was.
Oh my God.
Yes, he was.
No way in the world you would have told me that.
He was first team.
Like that.
He was first team ACC, all ACC this past year.
Out of Georgia Tech, right?
Out of Georgia Tech, correct. He was unanimous first team All American. He was second team All ACC 2018, third team All ACC 2017, and yeah.
6 foot 270. He could play fullback, but he's a punter. And he was Ray Guy Award winner?
Ray Guy Award winner last season. Dude can play. Now, if you want to, after I mentioned all those accolades, feel free to YouTube it so you can see it for yourself. But he's not Fat Albert back there.
No.
He's an athlete. And he has the credentials to prove it. So we got ourselves a bona fide punter with a 7th round draft pick.
Yeah.
So I love the draft from the standpoint we got depth in the later rounds. We got depth on the offensive line. Well, help on the offensive line because it was the 3rd and 4th round picks. I think they'll contribute right away. In addition to the guys we're bringing back, but we got much needed depth on our linebackers because after we lost Devin Bush for the season, we weren't the same. And then later we lost his replacement, Spillane, who's playing well. We lost him for an extended period of time. So, and of course, Bud Dupree lost him to a knee injury, he signed in Tennessee. So God bless him. So we got much needed depth in our linebacking core. So I like the draft a lot, but hey, we got the prize. I wouldn't be upset with Travis Etienne, but I really love Najee Harris. He's a stealer now. And as far as Travis, speaking of Etienne, he's in Jacksonville.
He's in Jacksonville, yeah.
I thought they could have gotten him at the beginning of the next round. But that's okay. But the point is they got Trevor Lawrence's boy from Clemson to be in the backfield with him and Jacksonville. I can't be mad at that pick for Jacksonville as well. So all in all, for our squads, I think there's a lot to love about our draft. Now again, they haven't played the game yet. I get it, but on paper, from a depth perception standpoint, I think we did pretty well for ourselves.
Yeah, that's all I ask is because I don't like to do draft grades, man. Because like I said before,
we don't know.
We don't know how these dudes are going to pan out when they get on the field.
Right.
And then, of course, our assessment of them now can be wrong in a couple of months. So that's one thing I don't want to end up doing no more because you know what? It just makes dudes look make dudes look horrible when they do stuff like that. But 2 draft picks, real quick that I want to talk about with Washington that I didn't get a chance to talk about real quick. Well, three guys real quick. Shaka Tony out of Miami, the defensive end that was taken in the 7th round by Washington to add to that depth to that D line. I thought that was a wonderful pick. It's going to be interesting to see how he battles to fight to get into that defensive line room. And then Benjamin St. Jouy, the cornerback, yes, out of Minnesota. He's a Canadian. More so known for playing hockey. He's real physical. It's going to be interesting to see how he turns out. And then, of course, the long snapper, Cameron Cheeseman. Yes, the Cheese Man is out there. So, we already got that nickname already rolling for this dude.
Nice.
So, yeah, he's supposed to be the best long snapper in the draft. And they took him, I think, in the 5th round. So, yeah. Matter of fact, I think they traded up to get him, too. So, yeah. I just thought those 3 picks were interesting picks. And I'll be intrigued to see whether or not they make the team or not.
Interesting. All right. I like the way we bounced around the NFL draft set because my stupid ass forgot to talk about Aaron Rodgers. I told we sandwiched Aaron Rodgers in between the NFL draft segment. So only here on the Klown Hour will you get Aaron Rodgers sandwiched into some NFL draft talk, but
you know what? That's how he liked it. That's how he. No, it's not your fault. That's how he liked it because he kept his mouth closed until the draft.
Yes.
To make it known that he wanted to be out. That he really wanted to be out.
After they made their picks, he's like, you know what? Fuck y'all. I want out.
Exactly.
So that hamstrings them this year because they can't do. Well played, Aaron Rodgers.
I was like, this Bama here, I swear.
Well played. Clapping for him. Let's talk some NBA right quick.
Yes.
Coming down the stretch. First of all, 7 games up the season. How about the jobs our teams have been doing this year? My New York Knicks, man, we clinched a winning season for the first time in almost a decade.
Yes.
And again, Coach Tom Thibodeau, Coach of the Year. I think that's where I know the NBA is a players' league, but damn it, you need coaching to take it home.
Yeah.
So we're proving that we are in the midst of a grueling road trip, Western Conference road trip. We got Denver tonight. Then we have Phoenix. Then we have the Lakers and the Clippers. Before we come back home. So it's going to be, we're probably going to take some lumps. Okay. But damn it, I'm happy. Barring a huge collapse, we don't have to worry about being in the play-in situation.
Yeah. It had to be a huge collapse.
Yeah. So I'm not too worried about that. But speaking of which, even though y'all are in that predicament, the fact that you guys have been on a tear, your Bullets, and for those who aren't familiar with the show, I don't call them the Wizards. I refuse to call them the Wizards. They're the fucking Bullets, okay?
I tip my cap to you, sir, for doing so.
I appreciate it. They changed the colors back to red, white, and blue. They got the scheme back on the jerseys. Just come back home. Just bring it home.
Dude, that was just
with the 2 L's, with the arms coming up like this, catching the ball.
Yeah, dude, this is a big old tease when they did that.
Yeah,
it was, and it was even more so because I'm trying to remember. I think one of the logos are no, it's not. It's not. The D is a monument, not the hand. But yeah, that's a big old tease when they change the colors back to red, white, and blue. They know the fan base wants it. We're clamoring for that. Yeah. I just wish that that the owner just goes ahead and makes the decision. But to your point with the Knicks, dude, they had the 3rd hardest remaining schedule for the rest of the schedule with their last 7 with the lineup that you named.
It's frightening. It is.
It is. And you look at the tough games that they got, along with that West Coast trip that they got, they also got to play Boston, who was in the hunt. Currently at the 7th spot, who are looking to get out of that 7th spot right now as well. Right. So, yeah, they got some toughies. And then what's considered to be their easy games are 2 other playoff teams in San Antonio, 2 other teams fighting for playoff spots with San Antonio and Charlotte. So they got a toughie. They can't afford to lose any. The thing is, it'll be great for them to stay at 4 and potentially face Atlanta at 5.
Mm-hmm.
But if anything, they're going to want Atlanta to stay at either 4 or 5 with them, and maybe not Miami. Miami, who's been kind of bouncing around in terms of what they've been doing. They're 7-3 in their last 10. They're currently in the 6th seed, but they got they got an average schedule coming up the rest of the way. But they do got to face Philly, Milwaukee, and Boston in the rest of that, and Boston twice actually in that stretch. So yeah, they're going to be fighting with Boston for that 6 and 7 spot. The thing is, I don't know if they necessarily New York wants to necessarily face the Celtics or the Heat, being that they are playoff tested, regardless of how they looked this past season. We don't know how the postseason is going to look for them, and then they might really want to go ahead and face off against that Hawks.
Yeah, yeah, because that's our best bet. Because we stay in the 4th seed, that's our best matchup. That's the most favorable matchup for us. Would be the Hawks in the first round.
And that's the other thing too, because the Hawks have the 7th easiest schedule, so it's a possibility that the Hawks could pass you guys and get to the 4th seed. But if anything, you want to stay right there with them 4 and 5. You do not want to drop down to that 6th spot at all.
Now go ahead. Sorry.
No, and I was going to say that's the last thing you want to do is drop down to that 6. But you'll take that 5 spot and potentially give up home court advantage,
against
but
the
you'll
Hawks.
still be facing the Hawks. Yeah.
Right. And so the last 3 games, to your point, Spurs, Hornets, and Celtics, they'll be playing in New York.
Yeah.
The bad news is it's in the first quarter right now. You want to take a guess at the score?
What is it?
34-12 Nuggets. Yeah, I know. So moving right along.
Yeah, all right.
But your team is playing the Bucks tonight again, like you said earlier. But you guys are on the roll, man. So props to Scott Brooks. Props to your boy Bradley Beal.
Bradley Beal, yes, sir.
It was the second in the league in scoring to Stephen Curry right now. And Westbrook, off the line. Russell Westbrook is balling out of control right now.
Dude, that triple-double he had Monday night.
24, 20 over 20 points, over 20 rebounds, over 20 assists.
Yeah.
Your
And
boy's
you know what? There were a lot of people that were hating on him. He was much maligned after the trade. He didn't look right for the first few months of the season. So much so that there was a lot of calls for Scott Brooks' job.
Right, I remember
him out of there. And to potentially people were questioning, because remember when Russ was playing bad, it was around the same time that John Wall was playing good in Houston. And I kept telling people, hey, hold up. It's only a month or 2 in the season. Don't bust that nut just yet. At least let this season play out first before we criticize what's going on between the 2 of these teams.
Right.
And sure enough, they've both gone into opposite directions, where Houston has been on this huge rut, and they're in this position right now to be fighting for the number 1 overall pick. And the Bullets, I'll call them the Bullets too, have gone 13 in their last. They've won 13 of their last 16. 8 of their last 10. Let me look at that. Yes, 8 of their last 10 and 13 of their last 16. And they're in great position right now to be in that play-in round to go ahead and advance into the playoffs. So it'll be interesting to see what happens. Because my thing is, especially in that play-in round, I don't think anybody wants to play the Bullets in a one-and-done situation. I know the Pacers probably don't.
No.
And whoever is 7 and 8 may not want to either. That's why Boston and Charlotte are most definitely looking to get out of those 7 and 8 spots respectively. Yeah. And Boston has an opportunity with them having, what is it? They have the 5th easiest remaining schedule. So yeah, they're going to do whatever. They're going to have to do whatever they're going to want to do whatever they have to do in order to get out of that play-in situation and not have to potentially face the hot Wizards.
How about speaking of Charlotte? Wizards. Shame on you. Speaking of Charlotte, how about LaMelo Ball? He's your rookie of the year.
Yeah.
He came back from the injury with a sweet underhanded pass to Bridges, man. Yo. That's your rookie of the year. Michael Jordan finally got one right.
Yeah.
He finally got one right. Now, it's incumbent upon them to make sure they do all they can to keep him there.
Mm-hmm.
In Charlotte, we spent time in the Carolinas. I grew up in North Carolina. Charles Atlanta Jr., even though there's stuff to offer. But it's considered a small market city, NBA, as far as NBA comes.
Most definitely, yeah.
Reside in the same division as Atlanta, hot Atlanta.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Miami.
Mm-hmm.
You know, hot spots. So free agent destinations. So
they
have to do all they can to keep them there, to keep LaMelo Ball there. But the kid is playing so well. And Charlotte finally looks great.
Yeah.
I mean, before his injury, God bless him, Gordon Hayward was playing like the Utah Gordon Hayward. Scary Terry Rozier is playing well.
Mm-hmm.
Devontae Graham is playing well.
Playing good, yes, sir.
Malik Monk is finally playing up to his draft potential. Mm-hmm. So, and the Bridges kid I mentioned is pretty damn well as well. He had a sick dunk on, who was it? Was it Capella from Atlanta? A sick dunk where he just took it back. It's YouTube sick Bridges dunk, and on Capella, you'll see it. But anyway, the point is, the point is that Charlotte finally looks like a very promising team, and they're well coached. I mean, Borrego is from the Coach Popovich tree.
Yes.
So they finally got something great going. I just hope that Hayward comes back healthier, to go along with Scary Terry, Devontae Graham, and of course LaMelo Ball. So they got a great young team. They're damn good young team. So finally Jordan got something going there. But speaking of the playing games, wouldn't it be funny in the Western Conference if the Lakers end up in the playing games? Wouldn't it be funny? You know, you heard what LeBron said, right? He said whoever came up with that should be fired. And I understand why he agreed last year, because different context, right? They lost all those games to COVID, and they need a play-in format to recoup that. But a couple of things that happened that they didn't count on. They didn't count on becoming popular with the fans, to catch on with the fans. And so with that being said, the first 6 seeds are in stone. 7 through 10 are the playing games. So technically you're playoffs, but you're in the play-in situation, kind of like the NCAA tournament with the first 4.
The first 4, yeah.
This is what they are in the first Eastern and Western Conference. So I'm looking at the standings in the Western Conference right now. The Lakers are tied they're in the 6th spot, because Dallas, I think, has a tiebreaker over them. So, and they're only a half a game ahead of Portland, who right now is winning. If not, they've already beaten Cleveland. So they're only half a game ahead of out of the 7th spot. So this is what's will happen. Imagine this: the Lakers in the 7th spot having to play the Warriors in the 8th spot for the right to finish as a 7th seed in a one and done scenario. Playing against Stephen Curry. So LeBron James versus Stephen Curry is for the first play-in game.
For the play-in game?
For the 7th spot.
Dude, I'll say this. As much as people don't want to have that play-in game next year, are you trying to, you know how hard it's going to be to convince Adam Silver to not do it again, and you got the likes of the Lakers and Golden State in the play-in game, listen.
That's high drama.
Yes,
high
it
drama.
Is. And I mean, of course, neither team will be instantaneously eliminated. They will end up dropping down into that double elimination situation. Yeah. But my God, the Lakers and Golden State, and you're trying to tell me we're not going to, man, listen, you must be out of your mind. Yes, you're going to miss out on having, you potentially, because it's a way that the loser can still end up playing their way into that 8th spot.
Correct.
But my Lord, to have that matchup and with the mix of the playoff, man, there's no, man, listen, you're not going to convince Adam Silver any other way. But to your point, there is a high possibility that the Lakers could drop down to 7, but the only thing that's going to aid them, because the Lakers currently have the 10th hardest remaining schedule is the fact that Portland at 7 has the 8th hardest remaining schedule.
Mm-hmm.
So
right.
they're both going to have to fight. Hey, all I got to do, man, listen.
Guess who
all
plays,
my life I
guess
had
who
was
plays
fight.
Friday? Guess who plays Friday?
They do.
They do.
They do. And
Correct.
that's what makes it even better because I was just about to get to that.
Yeah.
Man, listen, the Trailblazers got the Suns, the Jazz, the Creamy Nougats, and like you said, the Lakers coming up Friday.
Yeah.
And then, of course, they got San Antonio coming up in their remaining 7 games, who's also trying to fight to make it into the playoffs. They're trying to fend off the New Orleans Pelicans.
Yep.
So, yeah, all of them, 5 through 11, you might as well say, it's going to be a fight to see who ends up where in those slots. The funny thing is, the team that has the easiest road out of all, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, out of all 7 of those teams, is the Memphis Grizzlies, who have the 3rd easiest road ahead of them for the rest of the season.
That's crazy.
Now, they play against Dallas and G-State, but they also got Detroit, Minnesota, Toronto, even though Toronto's looking good right now. San Antonio twice, not San Antonio, I'm sorry, Sacramento twice,
mm-hmm.
and the New Orleans Pelicans, who also are trying to fight in to get into the playoffs right now. So they got an easy path ahead of them. The thing is, with who they got left, where they're going to end up remaining, because they're currently at 9.
Right.
And they could potentially move up as high as 5. But yeah, it'll be real interesting to see how this pans out for those spots in the West.
Yeah. I mean, just again, this playing format by Adam Silver and company, genius.
Yeah.
Straight genius. Because let's go back to the East for a minute.
Mm-hmm.
If you look at seeds 4 through 7,
mm-hmm.
they're only separated by 2.5 games.
Yeah.
Okay. And then I think the only surest things are 8 through 10, because I don't see Toronto catching your bullets.
Mm-hmm.
They're 3.5 games behind the Bullets.
They need to actually, they play against Washington, Indiana, and Chicago, who is currently at 12.
Right.
So not only do they need to win those 3 games, they're going to need help from the teams ahead of them in order for them to get in.
Right. So I don't
not
think
impossible though. Yeah, I don't think so either, but it's not impossible.
So basically, what you have 2.5 games separating 4 through 7 seed,
mm-hmm.
and pretty much 8, 9, 10 are almost not set in stone as far as positioning, but the 3 teams.
Mm-hmm.
The 3 teams are set at this point. It's just that from 8 to 10, it's only separation by 2 games.
Yeah.
So they could jockey for whatever position they would be. But just think about this for a minute. Let's go from East to West.
Mm-hmm.
If things hold the way they are right now, first playing game, Miami and Charlotte.
Mm-hmm.
Loser of that game will play the winner of Washington and Indiana.
Mm-hmm.
Frankly, I think Washington will beat Indiana. So
wait a minute, Miami is currently at 7?
Yep, Miami's currently at 7. They're tied at 7.
Oh, wow, they dropped, because last I looked, they were 6th.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah,
okay.
Exactly. So you got 2 teams, talented teams that have no damn business flirting with 6 and 7. That's Boston and Miami. They're too talented.
Mm-hmm.
But that's not a hero there.
But you know what? That speaks volumes about the Knicks and the Hawks.
That's right. How about the Hawks, too?
Yeah.
They've been playing well.
Mm-hmm.
So just think about this for a minute.
Mm-hmm.
If you're just think about the potential first-round matchups.
Yeah.
If things were to hold, right?
Mm-hmm.
You potentially could have Philadelphia and Charlotte. LaMelo Ball and a young squad against Joel Embiid and Ben Simmons.
Yeah.
And Doc Rivers.
Mm-hmm.
Also, Brooklyn against the defending Eastern Conference champion Miami Heat.
Yeah.
With Jimmy Butler. Keep coming with Jimmy Walker. Jimmy Butler. Yeah. He looks like a dude. Jimmy Butler, that time of the squad from last year, Bam Adebayo, still well coached. Going up against Kyrie Irving. What's his name? Kevin Durant.
Man, hopefully James.
Yeah,
The Super Friends, basically. Yeah, because, man, you talk
James
about
Harden.
James Harden,
Yeah,
Kevin Durant, Kyrie Irving, what's your boy name? Blake Griffin, DeAndre Jordan, Superman, Batman, Robin, Wonder Woman, the Incredible Hulk. Yeah, they picked up everybody, the Monstars. Yeah, Brooklyn, they have a roster. The thing is, though, it's going to be tough against a well-coached Eric Spoelstra squad, who, of course, is from that Pat Riley tree, who knows how to expose teams' weaknesses. So, as talented as the Brooklyn Nets are, Eric Spoelstra is going to find a way to outsmart Jason Kidd.
Yeah.
And so the thing is, they're going to have to physically be better.
Steve Nash. Steve Nash.
Yeah, I'm sorry about that.
That's okay.
But they're going to have to be physically better than who I think is going to be the well-coached Miami Heat. And I know they've been dealing with injuries all season long, but the thing is, if they can come in healthy, and if they can go ahead and bring back Oladipo as well.
Yes.
It's not going to be a cakewalk for Brooklyn.
No.
On paper, it should be, but that's paper, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
When you face a team at least 4 out of the 7 times where they focus just on you. Focus just on you, how to stop you, how to adjust to you. That's going to be great. And also, one last thing out west. If you're Phoenix or Utah, do you want to face Golden State in the first round?
No.
I don't care how hot
you are. Yeah. I don't care how hot you are right now. And they smoking.
Yeah.
They're smoking, but you know what? They don't have any playoff experience against the playoff team. Against the Golden State Warriors that have done what in the past 5 years?
Exactly.
Yeah, that.
Exactly.
So, and what, the hottest guy in the NBA right now?
Exactly.
Yeah, that dude.
Exactly.
Yeah, you really don't want to play against some dudes right there. That's what I'm saying. There's so much uncertainty going into the playoffs because the teams that are seeded 1 through 4 in both conferences recently haven't been that way.
Right.
And the teams that are 5 through 8 or 5 through 8, I'll go ahead and say that. 5 through 10 in the West have traditionally been higher. And those are the ones with the playoff experience.
Right.
So we don't know who to trust, what to believe, and how this stuff is going to pan out. It's going to be interesting. And I can't wait until all the playoff spots are locked in. The thing is, the fun part is, we won't know that probably until the end of the season because everybody's going to have to play it out. Right. Yes, playoff spots are locked, but positions aren't. So we still don't even know who's going to end up playing who probably until the end of the year. Right. And a lot of those teams have to play each other. Yeah. So, yeah.
Should be a lot of fun, brother. Should be a lot of fun. All right, let's get to it. HBCU Sports segment where we get to share you all the stories that you don't hear about. We love this segment.
Yes,
the viewers love this. Commenters love this segment as well.
They better.
You got the sunglasses on because I know where you're going. It took me a while to figure it out. So I'm going to turn over the floor to you. It's because this involves some old school wrestling reference or two. So,
of course.
The floor is yours, brother.
Oh, my God.
Some knowledge.
Yes, first and foremost, the reason why I'm dressed like this, what skull is in this? Is, of course, my man Connell Maynard and the Alabama A&M Bulldogs, the spring 2021 SWAC football champions. Man, they came out and put up a 40 burger on the Arkansas Pine Bluff Golden Lions. First and foremost, shout out to Doc Gable and the Golden Lions for putting up the season that they had, coming out there and being undefeated and playing as well as they did. I only got one opportunity to really see them play this year, and I didn't get a chance to see that live. You know why? Because it was Southern versus Jackson State on Easter Saturday. And yes, that beat out Arkansas Pine Bluff versus Mississippi Valley State, because at that point in time, I wasn't expecting much out of Pine Bluff. And I think that was only like their second or third win of the season. Yeah. And I didn't think that they would make it to the SWAC championship game. But I went back, I rewatched that game, And based upon what I saw, I didn't know necessarily that Arkansas Pine Bluff would be able to hang offensively with them. And for a moment there, it didn't look like it. Well, actually, no, the first half, Arkansas Pine Bluff put a job on them defensively, holding them to 17 points. Their second, I think it was either their second or third lowest first half total of the season, even though they only played 3 games. Right. But I digress, right? But still, they did a good job on that offense to hold them the way that they did. It just happens to be that Akil Glass and Maynard and his play calling ability was able to go ahead and put up another 23 points in the second half to lead them to the win. But even though they were up by like 12, 13, Pine Bluff did not lay down. They went ahead.
They fought
got
well.
it within 8. Even when they got it within 7, actually.
Yeah.
And if not for that late interception into the end zone, we probably would have seen that game go into overtime. But shout out to, like I said before, again, shout out to Doc Gable for the season that they had. And congratulations to the woo! Man, oh man.
I wait for this moment. I wait for you to get this moment.
Oh my God, the Rolex wearing, diamond ring wearing, jet flying, limousine riding, wheeling dealing, son of a gun, the kiss stealing, all that stuff for my main man, Connell Mader. He put on a show afterwards, and the character that he is, man, oh my God, thankfully, the rest of the world got an opportunity to see that. And once again, I'll say it again, for those that didn't get a chance to or those that didn't know, and I'm going to keep bragging on it. Mm-hmm. The fact that he was the real Willie Beeman in any given Sunday. But I'd have to go ahead and call this out. I don't know what it is about Connell Maynard in his 3rd season, but they always tend to be his best, no matter where he goes.
Last week, which is funny, yeah.
Yeah, so 3rd year, Winston-Salem State, he took the Rams to the championship game for the Division II championships, where they lost to the eventual champion. I forgot who won that year. But at Hampton, they came in. That was their 3rd place year. In the MEAC that year, still his best. And then, of course, he comes in 3rd season in the SWAC. He wins the title here as well. And it's just a testament to him, his coaching style, his quarterbacks, and his quarterbacks learning his offense and being ready to compete. And I can't wait. I can't wait into the fall because, of course, the rest of the SWAC is screaming asterisk, asterisk, asterisk.
Yeah.
Especially Alcorn State, who didn't play this year. My thing is this: if you mad at Alabama A&M for winning the title, fall's coming up in a couple of months. You'll get your chance to prove it. Mm-hmm. And then in comes Bethune-Cookman and Florida A&M to the mix to make this. Oh my God, you talk about cast of characters. Yes, you're losing Dawson Odoms to Norfolk State, but you're adding in Willie Simmons of Florida A&M and Terry Sims of Bethune-Cookman into this SWAC pot, and it's just going to smack. I'll say this, right? So Deion Sanders did not understand why he did the original part of the post. He was upset about the number of HBCU talent that was drafted in this year's draft. And Scott, can you guess what that number was?
No.
It was none. It was none. Zip zero, stingy with De Niro. There was no talent from the HBCU to be drafted.
That's right. You're right. I saw that somewhere. I went on my game.
This is the first. I don't like that. This is the first time in the common NFL draft era where no players from an HBCU went undrafted. The first time ever. That's insane. Yeah. Especially, the numbers were low in recent years. They've been averaging about 3 up until last year where there was only 1. Latavius Simmons that was drafted by the Bears. But for none to be drafted, that's the first time. I almost want to say the first time ever in NFL pro football history that no one was drafted.
You know what's the saddest part about that is? There's a time when the NFL used to mine HBCUs. Yes.
And it's interesting that you say that.
Yeah, start with the AFL.
It started in the AFL, but it was AFL and NFL because there were a lot of years where guys that were drafted in the AFL also went in the NFL as well.
Right.
But it's just interesting. Like as the 2 leagues merged in '67, that number peaked I can't even remember what that number was, but it was a pretty high number. It had to have been like in the 30s at least.
Mm-hmm.
And then it just lowered after that and just got worse as time went on. The last time there were at least 10 guys taken in the draft, or double-digit guys taken in the draft, I think it was like 2008. Mm-hmm. So yeah, that number has now dropped to 0. No one wants to see it. And of course, Prime came out and said that he hated to see that these guys were neglected and ignored. But he also claimed that other coaches in the SWAC are backstabbers. I don't know if I necessarily call them backstabbers. They talk trash. Yeah. I don't think they don't like you. They're just talking trash, dude. And then, of course, there are people who are critical of how you got your job, because what? The same way that you want HBCU guys to be looked at and considered, it's the same way that they believe that there's assistant coaches that they coach with to also be considered for head coaching positions. And it's very parallel, my brother. And that's why they said what they said. They don't hate you. They just question the system. It just happens to be, unfortunately, you're the face of said system. But yeah, if you don't like the trash talk now, wait till them Florida schools get in, because they talk trash too.
And who do they play? Who does Texas play right off the jump? Florida.
Right off the back, they go to Florida and play Florida A&M. My God, if you can't take the trash talk now, wait till you get to that Orange Blossom Classic. My Lord. My hope is that my man Wavy Dave, the mascot, is there to save you, because Wavy Dave, I know Wavy Dave put up his dukes. I didn't see that in 2019 when he fought them players from Bethune-Cookman. I know he could go. So, yeah, if you need somebody to get your back, holla at Wavy Dave. I know he got you. But, dude, if you couldn't handle that, it's about to get worse. And then Alcorn's coming back, too, as well. So I can't wait until September, because, unfortunately, the MEAC is not going to be as fun. But
the SWAC's going to be hella fun.
All eyes are going to be on the SWAC.
SWAC is going to be hella fun.
So, yeah, shout out to once again to Connell for his championship win. Shout out to all the players, the HBCU players that were picked up as undrafted free agents. Matt McCain, the grandson of Franklin McCain from the A&T 4, was signed by the Denver Broncos. Keon Harris, an offensive tackle out of Fayetteville State, was taken by the Atlanta Falcons. David Moore out of Grambling, offensive tackle, is with the Carolina Panthers. Brian Mills, cornerback out of Central, is with the Seattle Seahawks. I know that other players that were taken, charge it to my mind and not my heart, but congratulations to all of those guys that were picked up as undrafted free agents, and those guys that were invited to minicamp. Go ahead, get your grind on. I'm going to go ahead and quote, I'm going to go ahead and paraphrase Starlin Sharp, the Pro Football Hall of Famer out of Savannah State. Don't prove them wrong. Shannon Sharp. I'm sorry. Yeah. I'm thinking about the conversation he was having with his brother. Mm-hmm. But yes, thinking about Sterling. To paraphrase him, don't prove them wrong. Prove you right.
Yes.
So get there, get in camp, ball out, and give them don't give them an excuse. Well, fight for a reason to make them keep you on a roster. Mm-hmm. So good luck to you guys. And then with that said, you know, the man, I need to go ahead and get this out. It's hard for me to say it. The athletic season is coming to an end in HBCU sports. Outdoor track championships are upon us.
Yes.
For both the MEAC and the SWAC.
Yeah.
And yes, this is
going to be got some love on ESPN.
They did, and you know, as they should have.
Right.
You know, I mean, it's not like this is the first year they've been doing what they've been doing, but it is what it is in time, right?
Right.
So you know, this is the last year for, like I said before, A&T, Bethune-Cookman, and Florida A&M to compete in the outdoor MEAC championships. Of course, A&T has a wonderful chance of sweeping the MEAC championships one more time for both the men's and women's division. And I'm intrigued to see what's going to happen in the SWAC. the SWAC, they have a great sprinter out of Prairie View A&M as well that I'm intrigued to see how he does and potentially will compete in the Nationals too. So I'm going to go ahead and have myself, even though it's no more football. Well, no, I'm sorry. This FCS playoffs, but that's not HBCU.
Right.
Even though I may be peeking in on that, I most definitely will be peeking in on the outdoor track championships as well.
Yeah.
So good luck to all the participants this weekend, unless you are running against my Aggies.
Which eliminates all the MEAC. So that leads us to, thank you for blessing us with some knowledge as usual, brother. HBCU knowledge. This is a random shit segment. Have you heard about what's going on with the Super Soccer League in Europe? I
did. And
that's crazy, isn't it?
I guess it is, right? So I tried to bring it up with the fellas last night on Sleazy Sports because I heard a little bit about it.
Yeah.
I wanted to get more detail on it, and I know that you know what's going on, so I'm allowed you to speak on it. I just thought it was wild. Yo,
let's just get to it right quick. So basically, and all what was pretty much the amount. I would keep this. I would nutshell it for y'all. Mm-hmm. What amounted to be a huge money grab. Let's call it for what it was.
Yeah.
This soccer league was designed to take the top clubs of all of European soccer, right? So from the Premier League, from London, from the England-based Premier League, you have Arsenal, Chelsea, Tottenham Hotspur, the Spurs, Liverpool, Manchester United, and Manchester City. And from the La Liga squad, which is the Spanish league, you had Atletico Madrid, Real Madrid as well, and FC Barcelona. From the Italian league, I think it's called Serie A or Serie A, but for Serie A, you have Juventus, Inter Milan, and AC Milan. So basically, you had 12 clubs, 12 of the most popular European soccer clubs, 12 of the most popular clubs in the world.
Yeah.
Right? And that was the concept, is to create this conglomerate. Because imagine, like, in Champions League, the Champions League at the end of the season pits the best teams from all the European leagues going against each other. That's essentially like what it is. It's due UEFA, which is the governing body of the European League, similar to what's here in the United States is CONCACAF. It's the governing body, but they're all under FIFA, right?
To put it in the super dummy terms, imagine if the Power 5 conference decided to say, hey, we're going to go ahead, do our own league. After the rest of the college football, we're going to go ahead and start our own league.
Yes,
that is most definitely.
That is a perfect analogy. That's a perfect analogy. Thank you, D. Thank you, Dwayne. That's why you're my co-host. Thank you for that. Because for those of you out there who don't know what the hell we were talking about earlier, that's the perfect example. So imagine Clemson, Florida State, Miami, Ohio State, Michigan, USC, UCLA, Oklahoma, Texas says, you know what? Fuck everybody else. Everyone comes to see us play. Let's just in Alabama, Florida, and Georgia, and Auburn. Imagine them saying, you know what? People come to see us play. They don't come to see any people in our conference play, and throw in Carolina too, UNC. So why not, since people come to see us most, since we're the brands, since we're the most noticeable, not in college football, just in all collegiate sports, let's get our own league.
That's where that can be scary, right? And I don't want to belabor this because we were already talking about soccer.
No, that's fine. That's perfect.
Imagine if they did that, they could
completely
rule football and basketball. With the 65 teams, they could do their own basketball tournament and say F everybody else. Dude, the money is in the bowl games and the tournament anyway. They come to see us. Why not?
Same thing for basketball. I'm glad you said that. And which is the scariest thing is to what you said, it's doable.
Yes.
It's doable as fuck. Because think about it. The college and collegiate sports here, you already have the college football playoff, which is governed by ESPN. in the Power Five. You already have that. So imagine if they get sick and tired of the Group of Five bitching about their place, which the Group of Five has a point. Let's be honest.
Yeah.
Especially University of Cincinnati, Coastal Carolina, they have points. Imagine if they get sick and tired and say, you know what, we got the money anyway. And especially if they stop picking up dead weights in their conference. Come on. You can't tell me that can't happen. And it's basketball. Duke, UNC, Virginia for the ACC, Louisville too. Ohio State, even Ohio State, Michigan, Big Ten. Maybe Wisconsin. Of course, the SEC is all about UK, Kentucky. Now you can throw Alabama in. They had a great year. And the beat goes on. You know, Oklahoma in the Big 12, Texas in the Big 12. The brands.
Yeah.
Kansas, University of Kansas, West Virginia. Those are your basketball heavyweights, the blue bloods. The blue bloods can say, he's gonna say, fuck the rest of you guys. What's to stop him? Especially in football, what's stopping him?
Loyalty, that's it.
For now, but does loyalty pay the bills later on? You know what I'm saying? I mean, that's where the Super League from Europe came from. Essentially. And as you imagine, if it happened here under the NCAA umbrella, the FIFA guys came down at big time. To the point where UEFA, again, which is the European governing body of European soccer for under FIFA, said essentially, and particularly in the Italian league, if you go forward this, we'll penalize you. And we can't do it. Which is why a lot of teams are like, no, never mind. We're good. Fans are protesting. They shut down Manchester United. I'm a big Manchester United fan. They shut down the Manchester United match. I forget who we were supposed to play against, but they shut it down. They came out against the owners who are the Glazer family, same who owns the Tampa Bay
Buccaneers. Yes, sir.
So all that's being said, there's a lot of backlash right now in Europe. There's a lot of backlash as far as the European soccer leagues and teams that were going to form this. Now, it's pretty much dead in the water now. I haven't been keeping up much with it. But who's to say this won't happen again? Again, like Chris Broussard said, or his grandfather once told him, not only does money talk, it hollers. Okay? If there's enough money, they can withstand the backlash. And as far as the money goes, apparently it was like JP Morgan Chase was looking to invest in it. That JP Morgan Chase. So you know how much they pledged? You know how much they're going to pledge? Let me guess. You're not going to take a guess?
No, I'm not, because I know it's going to be bigger than that. Let me guess. It has to be. Wait a minute. I'm gonna guess. It has to be $750 million. Less than that. So it's over. It has to be what, $3 billion?
$5 billion. $5 billion. Billion with a B. Dollars. That, you know, when I mentioned JP Morgan Chase, that expression you had, yeah. $5 billion.
5 billies. Now see, that's it's scary, because the reason why I shot what I originally shot, because I was thinking, okay, JP probably ain't want to go ahead and invest a lot of their own dough. And for them to invest $5 billion, they know it's going to work.
Yeah.
They know this is almost,
and that's the thing.
Slam dunk.
It would have worked, because you ask, okay, these. Okay, so as great as the Premier League is, again, that's the English league.
Yeah.
You would have who would want is you would have Manchester United against FC Barcelona, Liverpool against Real Madrid, Chelsea against AC Milan, right? these big teams, these big European clubs playing each other at least twice. That would have been huge.
These super teams. My God.
Here's the Super League. Here's the Super League name, because these are behemoths in all sport. Fuck soccer, all sport around the world. Those 12 squads are amongst the richest and most powerful and popular in the world. And they would have been in a league. They would have to play each other at least twice. Don't tell me it would have been a success. It's just that the fans hated it, because if you're a fan of other squads in those leagues that wouldn't get to see them again, they wouldn't get to, if you were like I'm just making shit off my head. If you're Crystal City, if you're Crystal Palace, that's a squad in the Premier League. You won't get to see Man U. You wouldn't get to see Man City. You wouldn't get to see Chelsea or Arsenal, because they'll be in the Super League. Right? If you're Atalanta from the Italian league, you wouldn't get to see Juventus. You wouldn't get to see AC Milan, Inter Milan. You wouldn't get to see it. If you ain't any of the Spanish clubs, you wouldn't get to see FC Barcelona nor Real Madrid. Now, to my knowledge, I didn't see any German league teams, which surprised me. But still, if you're like some of the German, you got like Bayern, like, and all those squads, they wouldn't get to see those squads come Champions League time. So that's why you had all the angst, and that's why it eventually collapsed for now. Emphasis on for now.
Now, exactly.
Now, if you get more, if this same concept goes to the German league, gets said Bayern, there's some powerful clubs in the German league. So if you go to the German league or the Dutch league, if it's for their side, I can't pronounce it, but anyway, you go to the Dutch league, and they get some of their powerful squads in. That's why I said for now. Once they open it up to some more of those squads, and that means more investors gonna pop in. JP Morgan won't be the only one. If you get the German squads and the Dutch squads, still the most powerful, who are pretty powerful and popular. It won't stop. To quote P. Diddy, it won't stop. They won't stop. So, so again, this is you're gonna keep your eye on this. This ain't over.
No,
this Super League thing in Europe is not over. It's not over. Trust me. They say it's dying down for now, but the blueprint's there. It's the inevitable. One last thing right quick about that, going back to your college football analogy, which was very astute. There's a guy who's now on ACC Network named Mark Packer. I listen to him a lot on Sirius XM, used to before. And he would always say this. He'll tell his partner, Durham, West Durham, that he would say the days, because he's been saying this for the past 2-3 years, the day is going to come when the big boys in college football, the Clemson, you mentioned earlier, the Clemsons, the Alabamas, they're like, you know what? We're tired of carrying these dead weights in our leagues. Let's Wake Forest, I can't wait for you at Clemson. Wake Forest, Boston College, I know y'all not really trying, you trying to, but you can't compete with us. So imagine Clemson, Florida State, Miami, maybe Virginia Tech. Getting on a group call, on a Zoom call with Alabama, for the SEC, Alabama, Georgia, and I mentioned the teams earlier, Florida and maybe Auburn, to say, look, let's play some big boy ball. That's what Mark Parker's been saying this the past 3-4 years. And said, let's just do it. Let's just do us and fight it and duke it out. I'm telling you, it's going to happen. And when he first said that, I'm like, it can't happen. And all of a sudden, you put two and two together, and if you get enough of this,
Oh man, if you get enough of that, anything's possible.
Fuck loyalty.
Now, I'll say this, and I'll keep this short.
Mm-hmm.
The only reason why I do not see the elimination of the weaker teams is the exact same reason why Maryland and Rutgers were added to the Big 12, or to the Big 10.
Mm.
Big TV markets.
Right.
You know, you start getting rid of those teams that are lesser than, that are in big markets. Your Boston's College in Boston, which is a huge market.
Right.
Wake Forest in Winston-Salem, that Triad market. It's not a huge market.
It's growing.
It ain't a small one either.
It's growing, yeah.
Yes, it's not a small market either. So you know they actually have, what is it? I think they're somewhere in the top 40.
Top 40. They're top 40 markets. Top 40. Or 50,
yes.
At least.
So you know you continue to have you gotta. Well, you don't got to, because I mean, chances are they'll still watch. Right. But it would be even better if you had teams from those markets, which makes it easier for you to keep. Well, I mean, you're not going to lose the TV deals anyway, but to have those teams in those markets, it helps out. It does. So that would be the only reason why they wouldn't get rid of those lesser teams in those big TV markets. But either way, I could see it working either way.
Yeah. But again, they could break off from those leagues.
Yeah. Yeah.
And form their own super league.
Exactly. So it's a scary thought, but it's a thought that's been bouncing around in my mind too, where I've been like, dude, at what point will it get to? But you know what? The funny part would still be, they probably will still try to find a way not to play the players.
Yeah.
So you know
that part.
Yeah.
That part. All right, so I think we're gonna call it, man.
Yeah.
Let's call it, man. Again, thank y'all for tuning into the podcast. Please check out Dwayne Nash on the Yard HBCU Sports, who raps about all things HBCU Sports, as well as Sleazy Radio every Tuesday now on Facebook Live. Check out his great work on HeroSports.com. And please subscribe to the channel. We'll be happy. Y'all be happy. And everybody will be happy. Get the merch, cafepress.com. Search for the Klown Time Sports. Again, the address will be in the bar. It will be in the description, rather, on YouTube when it uploads tomorrow afternoon. Also, more people getting vaccinated. Please get vaccinated. Otherwise, keep your ass at home. Wear a mask. Wash your hands. Last but not all things, peace out. We out. Take care. Have a good weekend, y'all.